The following content isn't intended for viewers under the age of 13.
T-Man 978, Chill Review.
Howdy folks, T-Man 978. I don't know if you remember me seeing these in a toy hunt a long while ago. And I was like, oh! But then I saw they were $20 and I was like, no, I can't do that. But this price? Yeah, all day. Not saying they probably aren't worth this. I'll see when I open it. But, yeah. It's made by Hiya toys in justice to Flash and Harley Quinn. I'm going to review Harley Quinn first. It looks like a lot of stuff in there, and I don't want the video to be forever. So here's the packaging. Yeah. Let me take the sticker off so you can get the full experience of what it's supposed to look like. I love GameStop stickers. They just come right off. And this is so dark. I hope those fists are really in there. The packaging doesn't look like it's opened already. But, yeah. Let's see what she really looks like. Because right here, these look like game steel. So if this thing actually looks that good, that's amazing. But let's find out. Alright, here's Harley out of the packaging. She's exactly 3 3/4 inches tall. But they call these like 4-inch action figures. Here's our little display base. Everybody seems to come with this same base. And they have these little things right here. I guess you use these to connect the bases together. Look like this on the bottom. But yeah, there's that. She has a bat. Bat is tiny. It has that little diamond shaped design right there. I wonder if that was supposed to be painted, but it's not. They did paint down here. She does come with this mallet like she likes to have. Yeah. She comes with a microscopic, tiny knife that almost looks like a batarang on the end. This thing is so small, I didn't even notice it in the packaging. It looks like it has blood on it. And she has 2 trigger hands and 2 holding hands. There is the trigger hand. Well, both of these are trigger hands. And you'll see the holding hand later, but let's look at her. She's kind of whacked out looking. I mean, it almost looks like the box art, but once again, depending on, like now it looks like she's looking at you and smiling. But I think the pupils or the irises are too far apart, just like my Iraraka McFarlane figure. So you know what? She does have that bat on the back. I'm not completely familiar with the lore. I guess she's supposed to be a good guy in this game. So that knife probably is a repurposed batarang. And I'm right on the money. Do you see her corset? Now, right out of the package, I could not bend her elbows. I couldn't move the waist at all. Like, she had like damn near 0 articulation in the waist. What else? The hips. Hips was scary. Hips are on a ball joint. Let me let you see that. She can move up. The holster is attached right here, but it's very pliable. She can kick out that wide. So she doesn't really kick back. There is no thigh cut, unfortunately. But she has other types of great articulation, like these double hinge knees, feet that kick forward and back. And they pivot, but they pivot on a weird angle. You can get her standing up and whatnot. But while I was mentioning all that stuff that I was mentioning, not moving, I had to blow dryer it first to get it moving. But then I was able to find out that she had a ball joint down here, because that was not moving. It can actually rotate. It doesn't pivot side to side much because of the sculpt. Up here, that does pivot. It pivots back a lot. Comes forward not that much. And she doesn't really get too much of an ab crunch. Here's what I've been doing. I've been rotating her back backwards and then do that. And when you do that, she gets a significant crunch. And I was able to, let me zoom out some. kick her legs up and get her into some interesting poses with that. But unfortunately, the neck, I think the neck is on I think it's on a double ball post, but since the base of the neck is not on a double ball post, she doesn't get a ton of range out of that, or it's not as much as I would like. I mean, I can turn her this way and tilt it and whatnot, but I'd like more range. Shoulders go out this far, elbows bend 90 degrees roughly, and it does swivel there. The wrists are on a tiny microscopic little dot right there. There's no hinge or anything like that. I have smaller figures that have universal wrists, but that's about that. Now I'm mentioning that's tiny. I put on her other hand and I was trying to rotate it, and as I was rotating it, it was rotating a little knot, and I did pop that off, unfortunately. So I had to come up with other methods to get her hands back on, or get her hand back on right there, which I'll show you later. But she has these two pistols, identical, painted. That's the different, these things, let me show you. Size of a G.I. Joe. Here's the Baroness from the 25th anniversary. And let me get her body back right. But size of the G.I. Joe, but more detail and paint on everything. That's why she was all fused together. And here's a Marvel Universe figure. My Marvel Universe Luke Cage. Never reviewed. Let me bring Baroness back out here. Marvel Universe seemed to be mostly 4-inch action figures. But in these trigger holding hands, it is kind of difficult. You got to like slide it in and then try to wiggle the trigger finger in there. But she can hold it. Let's see if she can hold this battering knife. In fact, it does have a little trigger thing right there. Yeah, not so much. But here she is dual wielding and whatnot. I was having fun messing around with her. But, pop that off. And here's what I had to do. I had a pin, and I had to shove that into her socket. So, I pre-did this one. Let's see. Hopefully this mess works. Yeah, there we are. So, if it feels tight when you put these on there, or feels like the peg is spinning and it's not really moving freely, I'll put some type of lube up in there, or make the hole wider so that it won't be twisting the peg. Now, let's see if these hands can actually hold her knife. Yeah, she's good at holding that right there. These hands, it's number one, it's hard to get these weapons in there because they're so fragile feeling. But they don't really grip at the handles, and the grip is way too loose. I don't know. I might try to like loosen that up. Warm it up and see if I can fuse the fingers shut more. But you definitely have to hold more at the actual top of the weapons, and I don't really like that. And as far as her holding this, since her arms don't really come inward that much, that's kind of frustrating. And then since she doesn't have universal wrist, it's very difficult to get her holding these things. But as you can see, she's holding it. So, it's a decent little figure. They retail at $20. I found it for below $6. They're having a sale at GameStop right now this whole week. Look at the date because that might be over by the time you watch this. You might be able to find her for even less because clearance stuff I think is 30% off. But if you can find it cheap, this is a decent little something to mess around with on your desk. But it's not a super duper exciting action figure because the lack of posability, like a thigh cut, universal wrist, arms that go in a little bit more, and then her not being able to have a good grip on these weapons is freaking frustrating. But anyway, and stuff breaking and needing to be warmed up ahead of time was annoying. I'll do the Flash probably this weekend, and if you're interested in a dude in the background back here that I have not been mentioning this whole time, I started his review, but the post office got this thing to me so late, so late. By the time I figured out the transformation, now it's super late, and I just want to film something, so I won't go another day without another video. I'll make sure y'all have something for this Thursday. But anywho, thank y'all for watching this video. Until next time, T-Man978, out of here. Click the videos, click the videos, baby, click the videos. You should really click these videos, click the videos, click those videos, baby, click the videos. You really should